This better not be where all those stinking coyotes were that were howling all last night.
This fall I set out to through hike the River to River Trail across southern Illinois. It's 157 miles between the Ohio River and the Mississippi River, going through the Shawnee National Forest. I knew this trail wasn't going to be glamorous, there weren't going to be very many views, but logistically it worked out well for me. I decided to document this journey because there's not a lot of information out there about this lesser-known trail.
It's actually pretty chilly this morning. I think it's 45 degrees, it says. I'm just trying to get motivated to get out. So today's my birthday and I'm choosing to spend it alone in the woods. To be determined if that was a good idea. I put on a pair of fresh socks today as a little gift to myself. I'm still in the Garden of the Gods area, I believe. Last night I stayed at the Scenic Overlook at mile 24. I mean, really, this only makes sense if you're thinking of doing this, but I want to give some information because there's not much out there. Yesterday, the terrain, once I got on map 4, I think, 4 and 5 were pretty good. There's a lot of horse trails, so there was some sand and stuff. This morning, I'm on map 6 now, starting Garden of the Gods, which is a pretty popular area. So far, the terrain's not too bad. I don't want to sound critical, but who decided that that color was a wise color? Just saw a hiker. He's only out here for a night. He's got like really minimalist stuff. Flew by me and wished me luck for the river to river. People do know about it, I guess. I'm really surprised. I'm kind of looking at people's houses to see if I can find any outdoor spigots. That creek that I wanted to get water at was just inaccessible because it's overgrown. I just got to talk to 2 really nice guys from Chicago who are just like kind of camping out in the Shawnee Forest for a few nights. And I got some water from a creek that didn't look very great, but they said they've been drinking from it for a couple days. I can't really see it well, but there's some horse ties here. I'm at the 170 lookout, which is pretty overgrown. It's pretty cool. Someone has made a little fire camp under there. I just took my lunch at Rocky Top. There are a lot of horseback riders through here, especially because it's Saturday. And some woman comes over to me. She asked me if I'm carrying. Asked, "Are you afraid of the cougars?" And I was like, I wasn't. But now I am. What the heck? I mean, I saw a man last night with his 2 preteen daughters. I suspect if he's not that worried about cougar, I shouldn't be that worried about cougar. At least not in this more popular area. I've had so many people, like, they're excited about what I'm doing, but yet so many people are really concerned about being alone out here. And I'd be really curious if they'd be asking a man my age the same thing.
Obviously, this is a larger conversation, but on this trail, clearly I became irritated by the pattern of being approached by complete strangers, asking me uncomfortable and sometimes invasive questions about my safety simply because I was a female solo backpacker. Unfortunately, my credibility and experience was called into question by so many people who had never been on an overnight backpacking trip before. Obviously, there were advantages because I likely got more trail magic simply because I was a solo female. I think you will see clips of me at times becoming frustrated about this issue.
They say the trail provides. I believe that God provides. Got to the trailhead at Horse Gap. This group of 4 people sitting out in their lawn chairs. The place I was thinking of staying at is dried up. So one of the guys gave me a bottle of cold water that had ice in it. Thinking of going to sleep behind a church. I guess I'm not going to set up camp until it gets closer to dark in case someone tells me to leave. Alright, next dilemma. This requires 13 ounces. That's probably going to take all that water, so that would leave me that much. I'm definitely not like 100% hydrated, but I don't feel totally dehydrated. Happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me, happy birthday to me. Since I've been, camping alone and stuff, I will play the Office Ladies podcast on like speaker. Feel like I'm, actively engaging in a conversation while I'm eating, which I think there's like an internet trend called mukbang or something about that. Anyway, today I went 16.1 miles. The terrain today is the best that it's been so far. I mean, it's only day 3, but a significant improvement. The sand is a little frustrating sometimes. I'll be entering the Lusk Creek Wilderness tomorrow. This is my birthday cake. Yeah, it's 6:33. I need to get going in case anyone visits the cemetery in the morning. And there's a farmer on the other side of this property. Yeah, there are a lot of coyotes last night in the forest that I was in, so I'm glad I didn't sleep there because they were going on all night. I got pretty intermittent sleep, so I did a lot of star watching last night, which was nice. It's about 13 miles to the town called Eddyville, where I have mailed myself a resupply box at the post office. But today is Sunday. I'm probably going to go 10 miles to the Bear Creek Horse Campground. I don't know if I'll tent there, or it's like $60 for a cabin, but I figure I can't really go too much further. I'm a little sore, so I'm making a lot more miles way more easily than I expected. I'm heading into the Lusk Creek Wilderness. This better not be where all those stinking coyotes were that were howling all last night. I just met a guy named Mike who thru hiked in 2017, the river to river. He's also done 800 miles of the AT. Told me that this section actually is longer than the map says because they've rerouted it. Gave me his wife's number. Yeah, I do have to say the people out here are really kind. So yeah, there are a lot more people out here than I thought. Maybe not people thru hiking it. I do know that there are 2 guys coming the other direction from me thru hiking west to east, so I should cross their path. Betcha probably it's going to be 5 or 6 days. There was no water between Lusk Creek where I just was and where I was talking to those guys from Chicago, which was like 24 hours ago. Yeah, it's really dry out here. My water tasted funky, so I dumped it out and refiltered. I'm gonna do the chemical on it again. Oh, I'm at Owl Bluff, maybe? Well, I hope James and Dina's love is lasting. Ugh. Ooh, yuck. Just got lost twice. Very ironic. I just met Ben Hikes, who I talked about like the first or second day. The stuff I found online, there's a YouTube channel called Ben Hikes. He probably had some of the most helpful videos, I guess. Him and his girlfriend, super nice people. They gave me a beer, got to talk for a while. Things like that really like lift your spirits, so thanks guys if you ever see this. That is a zebra, and he runs around wild here. Showed up here, Bear Branch Campground, and they didn't know if there was any cabins open. The owner and the secondary owner people weren't here. Someone who maybe works here told me to set up my tent out here. I decided to just go for that instead of trying to get a cabin. Pitched my tent. I got to have a shower, which was really nice. A hot shower because the options were either hot or cold. There was no middle, so I washed my socks in the sink. I haven't dried, and I don't think they're gonna dry, but made dinner. There is a electrical plug-in in the bathroom. Yeah, so that's what's going on tomorrow. I don't know if I want to walk 18 miles to Trigg Tower or not. I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out then. All right, good morning from the bathhouse. I didn't sleep well last night. The ground is really rocky, like it feels like I'm sleeping on concrete. I don't know if it's a Southern Illinois thing. There's just no padding on the ground, so my body's like really hurting and I'm not sleeping well. Yeah, I'm probably like a mile and a half, I think, from the post office, and that doesn't open till, excuse me, that doesn't open till 8:30, and it's 6:45 right now. See, that would have been a nice campsite down there. To be fair though, I did get to charge my battery pack most of the way, connect to a Wi-Fi. So I watched a TV show episode. There were some perks. Now I feel like I'm in Illinois. I'm actually really excited about fall. I've been living in Texas for the last 4 years, so I haven't had a fall. That is a good thing about moving back to the Midwest. Ooh. I knew this food place was going to be close by, but I didn't know that they were going to do breakfast. I thought it was more of like a bar and evening thing. So it's 9:10, and I think I still have like 18 miles to go. So it could be a longer day. Fire tower, and I'd like to stay there tonight to see the sunset and sunrise. All right, so I guess I'm 54 miles in, and I have 103 to go. Here's my food that I got from the post office. Okay, I got my resupply done. I met a really elderly gentleman who lives here and is very proud of this town. This is irrelevant to hiking, but I love old people. I just do. The last couple days were really great. Now I'm back to what feels like overgrown fire road, forest road with lots of spider webs. Flashbacks from the first day are coming to me. Oh no. I probably have like 14 pounds in food and water right now. My pack is pushing 30 pounds or maybe a little bit over. Petticoat Junction looks like another place with horse ties if people wanted to camp here. Coming out of my pack during this break. Yuck. That is giant. Wow, it's got to be as big as my head. All right, from what I can tell, I've gone 9 or 10 miles. I did some stops this morning, so I'm not really sure how my pace is. I keep picking all these spiders off of me, and it's kind of creeping me out a little bit. Today's the first day that I really feel like I'm struggling. I think it's kind of hot out too, so that's not helping. And I just did my miles and it said I only did 12 and a half so far. From this lake, I'm really hoping I don't have to drink it and that something else shows up that's better. Like, water is a fear, and I'm definitely having to face the fear because of, I don't think you can tell how yellow this is. Chugga chugga choo choo. This is the time of day that I don't like being alone in the woods. You probably can't tell how dark it is. But for me, like, courage is like a muscle that has to be exercised. Oh, big ass spider as I'm saying that. Yuck. Oh, it's one of those big red ones. They've been all over me all day. I definitely use courage if I'm doing things like in my life that are like playing it safe. And being out here as the sun starts to go down in the middle of the forest, totally by myself, it does take courage. As like dusk comes, I feel like my anxiety increasing. Oh, gotta set up camp. Like somehow being in my nylon tent is gonna protect me. I'm just rambling, but I wanted to share, like, I have my moments where I do find myself getting scared out here. Well, here I am from the top of Trigg Tower. And that's that. Sunset.